All right, so we'll start in a seated position. Let's go ahead and come to your seat if you're not already in one. Kind of settle in a way that makes sense for your body today, whether it's a cross-legged seat or something different. But just take a moment to settle in, let your eyes close. Start to check in with your body. Allow your next few breaths to be a little bit deeper and a little bit more intentional as you start to land into your body and into awareness of how you're feeling. All right, we'll join our palms in front of the heart and then interlace the fingers, press the palms forward and up. We'll start to reach up through one hand, up through the other side, left and right a few times. Give a little tug on your fingers as you extend up through one arm and then the other. All right, let your hands separate. Take them behind your back. Interlace the fingers there. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. Start to sense into the space between your sternum, your breastbone, all the way out to each shoulder, down each arm to the elbows. Finding some space there as you contract and engage the muscles between the shoulder blades. Let the head start to turn side to side. After a few times, side to side, then reach your chin up. Stretch out the front of the neck. Really stick out the chin. And drop it down toward your chest. Feeling into the back of the neck. Again, lifting up. And dropping down. Once more, lifting up. And dropping down. All right, as you bring your head up to center, we'll scoot the knuckles over towards the right side of the waist. Just let them hook there and let your head drop to the right as you start to create this long stretch on the left side of the neck from the shoulder up to the skull. Start to relax the facial muscles, the jaw. You might even slightly open the mouth a little bit to encourage the jaw to relax. And then take the head a little bit forward. And back. Again, a little bit forward. And back. And once more forward. And back. All right, and then ease your head up to center. Scoot the knuckles over to the left side of the waist. Hook them there. Let the head gently fall to the left as you now begin to check in with the right side of the neck. From the shoulder up to the skull. Again, relax the jaw. Take the head a little forward. And back. Again, a little bit forward. And back. And then one more time, a little bit forward. And back. All right, ease the head up to center. And release the arms. Shrug the shoulders up, back, and down. Again, shrugging up, back, and down. And then once more up, back, and down. All right, then we'll take the arms out to the sides. And then as we bring the arms forward, take the right arm underneath, twist your arms together, or if that doesn't work, take hands to opposite shoulders, either way, guiding the attention to the space between the shoulder blades. Inhale, lengthen tall through the spine, lift the elbows slightly, and exhale, relax the shoulders down away from the ears. And just have this very subtle, small movement in your shoulders. Inhale, lifting the elbows. Shoulders might come up a little bit as well, and then exhale, relax the shoulders down. All right, one more time, breathing in And breathing out. All right, take the arms behind the back a second time. Take your opposite thumb on top, so the one that feels a little bit weird to be the one on top. Squeeze the shoulder blades together, and as before, you might keep your elbows bent or you might start to now straighten the arms a little bit. See which way allows you to find the most interesting stretch across your chest and into your shoulders and down the arms. If you want to add a little bit more movement to the head and neck here, feel free to. We did side to side, up and down before. You could be a little bit more random if you want to. Take a chin toward a shoulder. Reach up toward the ceiling, sort of a triangle shape. You could just let your chin move without thinking about where it's going, just to explore all of the possible angles of sensation that can be created here. We'll take another 2 breaths. All right, and then release the arms, give them a little shake. And then we'll take the arms back out to the sides, and this time take the left arm underneath. Again, twist the arms together or hands to opposite shoulders. As you inhale, lengthen tall through the torso, but also slightly lift the elbows. As you exhale, relax the shoulders down the back. Again, inhale, lengthening tall, lift the elbows to their capacity. Exhale, relax the shoulders down and back. All right, one more time, breathing in and breathing out. All right, unravel the arms. We'll take the right hand down to the floor. Lean into the right hand, take the left hand to the left shoulder, and start with a few rotations. Let the circle be nice and big so your elbow reaches as far back and forward as it's able to. And you can move as slowly as you want to here as well, especially if that helps you stay grounded and aware of what you're feeling in this moment. All right, then we'll change directions, same arm. All right, after your next full circle with this left arm, we'll sweep the arm up alongside the head, reaching over towards the right side. Start to squeeze and release the fingers of that left hand, as well as rotate through the wrist. So sensing the movement not only in the left hand and arm, but all the way down the side of the body, sensing down into the left side of the low back. A couple rotations each way. All right, so with your next inhale, lift up. And exhale the left hand down to the floor. Walk it out a little bit, leaning into it. Right hand comes to right shoulder. And start with some rotation. Nice big circles here. All right, and then change directions. All right, then sweep that right arm up alongside the head, reaching over toward your left side. Squeeze and release the fingers, as well as rotate through the wrist a few times each way. All right, then with your next in-breath, lift up. And exhale, release your hand. All right, we'll take the right leg out at an angle. Left leg is still folded in. And then shift the torso so that you're turned slightly towards your straight leg, towards your right leg. And then start by walking the hands down, one on either side of your leg. until you get to a point where you feel adequate sensation in the back of your leg. So you get to be the judge of how much is enough, of course. And then let yourself hang out in that position. So if you have blocks or something similar, you might rest your forearms on blocks or maybe eventually the floor. But find mild to moderate sensation, enough to hold your attention, but not so much that you can't hang out in it for a little while. All right, so as you start to land into the posture, start to let go of unnecessary effort. So this is one of the poses where you can interact with it in a very engaged way, as in terms of the straight leg, or a very passive way. So you can experiment. Do I want this straight leg to be completely passive? Or does it feel better if there's some engagement of the front side of the leg as the back of the leg starts to lengthen and open? So you can experiment with both of those and see which one you land on. And then for me, in my body, it may or may not be the same for you, but as I'm going towards this right leg, the left side of the torso, this arm wants to reach further to get more of a stretch. So you might find that the arm that's on the inside of the leg wants to reach a little bit further. And allow the breath to just flow in and out of the body without restriction. All right, we'll take about 10 breaths here. All right, somewhere after your 10th breath, just slowly start to walk your hands back in, lifting the torso up. Let it come back through center, and then we'll twist over toward the left side. So take right hand to left knee, left hand towards the floor behind you. Inhale, lift tall, and exhale and twist over toward your left side, turning the head to look back. And as you're looking back over your left shoulder, let your forehead relax. So maybe even your eyes close. Maybe you start to feel the weight of your eyes in their sockets. Sense into your ears and your scalp. Sense into your tongue and your teeth. And notice the way that you're breathing. All right, now turn just the head back over towards the right. Let the chin drop down towards the right shoulder so that you can kind of look down towards your right knee. And keep breathing with a sense of ease. Nothing needs to be forced. Let the breath start to create pockets of space. All right, then lift the chin, slowly untwist from your head and neck, your shoulders, and the rest of the torso. All right, we'll switch the legs. So take the left leg out, fold the right leg in, And then start to turn the torso toward your straight leg. Begin to walk the hands out, one on either side of the leg. Come to a point of mild to moderate sensation. So not your maximum stretch to start, but somewhere 50-60%. And then just start to let yourself soften into the shape. And again, you can experiment with whether you want to keep your straight leg engaged, where the front of the leg, like the toes are pulling back toward the knee, the front of the leg is strong to help the back of the leg let go, or whether you want to just let that leg totally relax. And this leg doesn't have to be the same as the first leg. You can experiment differently with this leg if you want to. All right, we'll take 10 breaths. And then somewhere after your 10th breath, just start to walk the hands in, lifting up nice and slow. Bring the torso back through center and then twisting toward the right. So left hand to right knee, right hand towards the floor behind. Inhale, lift tall. And exhale and twist to the right. Turn the head to look back. Pause there as you look back over your right shoulder. Start to soften your gaze, maybe close your eyes. Feel the weight of the eyes themselves, the tongue. Sense your teeth, your scalp, your ears. Let the breath flow with ease. All right, then turn just the head back over toward the left, looking out over your left shoulder. Let the chin drop down a little bit so you can spot your left knee. Holding the gaze on the left knee. We'll take a few breaths here. And then slowly lift the chin. Release the rotation from your head and your neck, your shoulders, and the rest of the torso. All right, from here we'll come down onto our backs. And as you come onto your back, just start with your knees bent. Give the knees a little sway side to side. All right, then let the knees drop in toward each other. We'll pause a moment for square breathing. So you might rest your hands on your belly or the floor. And in square breathing, keep in mind that The breath cycle is similar to a square in that it has 4 parts of all the same length. So we're breathing into the count of 4, and then holding the breath in for 4, and then exhaling for 4, and not breathing or holding the breath out for 4. All right, so you can begin when you're ready. Inhale to 4. Hold it in for 4. Exhale for 4. And hold it out for 4. And then continue to breathe in this way, going at your own speed. All right, after the next time that you exhale, let the breath resume its natural and unrestricted pace, flowing in and out of the body without restriction. All right, then from here, we'll cross the left ankle over the right thigh and bring the legs in toward the chest. Reaching through to grab your right leg, rock a little bit from side to side. You might grab around your right shin or behind the knee. If it's not comfortable to reach all the way through to grab that right leg, you can hold the left leg instead. That's really the one that we're kind of focusing on bringing sensation to. So it's totally fine to hold the left leg instead if you want to. Again, feel free to rock a little side to side as you ease your way into noticing where all the sensation is at. Invite some movement as well into your right ankle as you rotate. Point and flex the foot, wiggle the toes, rotate both ways. All right, we're going to turn this figure 4 stretch into a twist. So leave the legs connected to each other in this way, but let them drop over to the right. But when they drop to the right, make sure they're still close enough that you can grab hold of the leg that's touching the floor. Grab hold of that right leg kind of in the inner knee. Drop it over to the right side. So this left ankle is still crossed over the right thigh, and you're grabbing a hold of your inner right knee. Left arm comes out to the left. And more than likely, you'll have some amount of stretch around this outer left hip. It might be less than when you had the legs at center. It might be more than when you had the legs at center, depending on your unique hips. So legs are dropped to the right. Sole of the left foot is on the floor. Outside of the right leg is on the floor. Your head can turn whichever way it wants, whatever's most comfortable. And we'll take about 10 breaths here. And so after your 10th breath, guide the legs back to center. Let the right foot come to the floor so that left ankle is still crossed over the right thigh. And then just let the whole left leg cross all the way over. So you're crossing thigh over thigh. Left leg is on top. Now when you bring your legs back in toward your chest, take your feet as wide apart as they're able to go, and then grab hold of each leg with one hand. So maybe you're holding your feet, maybe you're holding your shins, but your thighs are crossed one over the other, and the feet are going wide apart. All right, so knees are coming in toward the chest. You could grab a hold of your shins. It might work better to grab underneath the legs or underneath the lower legs and just hug the thighs in toward the chest with the feet kind of free to move if they need to. It's just a slightly different angle for this outer left hip stretch to take the feet wide apart. And again, 10 breaths. Right after your 10th breath, release the legs so that your feet reach up toward the ceiling and just give them a little shake out, a little jiggle. Shake the legs hard enough that you feel the torso jiggling a little bit too. All right, then we'll do the other side. So start with right ankle over the left thigh. Bring the legs in toward the chest. Reach through for that left leg. You might grab around the shin, behind the lower leg, or you might just grab the right leg if it doesn't work well to grab all the way through to the left leg. And then as you're inviting the sensation into that right outer hip, you can let your legs rock a bit side to side, as well as rotate through the left ankle, point and flex the foot, wiggle the toes. Get some movement into that left foot and ankle. All right, 10 breaths. All right, then after that 10th breath, we'll turn this into the twist. So again, the legs are going to stay connected to each other in this figure 4 configuration, but the left hand will grab a hold of the inner left knee as your legs drop over to the left, so that that left hand can kind of hold the legs there. Right foot, sole of the foot's on the floor, outer left leg touching the floor. And then right arm back over to the right. Turn your head whichever way is most comfortable. Relax into the shape. And again, 10 breaths. And then after your 10th breath, slowly guide the legs back to center. Let the left foot come down to the floor. And then cross the right leg all the way over. So you've got your right thigh on top of your left thigh. So that now, as you bring your legs back into your chest, your feet can go wide apart. And then you'll grab hold of your shins, your ankles, your feet. You might grab underneath and just grab the thighs. But the intention being to arrange the legs so that the feet are wide apart and the knees are moving toward the chest. The feet might come down near the hips if that's comfortable. They might just stay out wide, kind of high. See what works in your body. And 10 breaths. All right, after your 10th breath, slowly straighten the legs up toward the ceiling. Again, give them a little shake out. Shaking the legs hard enough that it makes the torso jostle a little bit. And then release the feet down to the floor. All right, we'll turn over onto our front. As you make your way onto your front, walk your arms forward so your elbows are underneath your shoulders. And then we'll start with the palms facing up. And then just squeeze the fingers into a fist and then curl that fist in toward your elbows. So you're giving a stretch to the top side of each wrist. And then release that, and we'll do it a few times. Curl the fingers in, curl the fist in toward the elbow. A couple times. All right, then turn the palms over. Gently pressing the forearms into the floor, lift the heart, reach it forward. Extend back through your toes, and then turn your head to the right. Let your right knee bend. Pull the heel in toward the hip, and then release. Turn the head over to the left. Pull that left heel in, just with the strength of the leg, not grabbing the leg necessarily with the arm. And then release. And then turning the head back to the right. Again, heel hugs in. And release. One more time over to the left. Bend the left knee. Hug the heel in. And release. All right, then lower the heart down to the floor. We'll take the right arm straight out to the side. Turn your head over to the left and rest your head on the floor. And then pressing down into your left hand, turn your chest and hips away from the floor as much as they're able to. You might stack your legs. You might keep that left knee down for a little extra support so there's less weight in the left hand if helpful. Or you might step that left foot back, another way to take some of the weight out of the left hand, but only if that feels okay in the right shoulder. So taking the foot back might be too intense. If so, come back to stacked legs or left knee down. But just looking for mild to moderate stretch in the front of the right shoulder, down into the chest, down the arm. Again, 10 breaths. All right, then after your 10th breath, slowly roll back onto your front. Let that right arm come down alongside the torso to pause and rest. And then we'll do the left side. So when you're ready, take your left arm straight out to the side. Turn your head over to the right, resting the head on the floor. Push down into that right hand. Turning the chest and hips away from the floor as much as they're able to. Again, maybe you stack your legs. Maybe you keep your top knee down on the floor for a little extra support. Or step that top foot back behind the lower leg. Finding just the right amount of sensation for your left shoulder and 10 breaths. Right after your 10th breath, slowly roll back onto your front. Take that left arm down alongside the torso to pause and rest. And then press up onto hands and knees in order to sit back towards your feet into child's pose. Now you can take your knees wide or keep them together as you wish, and then release your head toward the floor. All right, 10 breaths here in child's pose. All right, then after your 10th breath, slowly make your way back into a seated position. And so as we come back into a seated position, bringing the torso back into an upright position, let your hands rest on your lap in a way that's comfortable for you. Let the shoulders relax down. Feel the breath flowing in and out of the body without restriction. Sensing into internal sensation, into thought, into emotion, whatever is present for you in this moment. All right, then we'll join our palms in front of the heart, bowing to the light within ourselves as well as each other. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Peace, peace, peace. May we know peace. Thank you again for being here. Enjoy the rest of your day.